welcome back to Brad Fab Garage for part 2 of the Malibu. We're going to dig into a little bit deeper thing to this thing, try and get the carpet, the interior, the trunk cleaned out, all the crap out of this thing, get a few more things, little knick-knack stuff done to it so we can kind of see where we need to go with this thing. Just got back from town from a bolt run, I grabbed a couple other things that we needed for the car, so hang tight. Alright, so see if this bolt, that perfect fit right there. This one I think he had to beat in with a hammer, so it's probably going to take a little more than just sliding it in. That'll work. See if she wants to come out. Oh yeah, perfect. Literally that much too short, but we're fixed. The 7/16 drawer, and that would be, one nut. Just had new ones out. Oh, there we go. That would be a new one right there. Oh, I can get it out. Good Lord, it's tight. What's it doing to me? This one. Okay. There we go. All right, let's get a couple washers. 2 washers. All right, pretty straightforward stuff here. Training mounts in, nothing spectacular to see there, but I am curious about this drive shaft. It's got my own Turbo 350 yoke in here. I mean, it's kind of acting like it's the same if whatever was in here before. Got the old original bolts here. I'm really curious to see if this thing just flops in there. I'm definitely gonna have to clean up the yoke on that because I don't want to put that in mine. But I want to measure this and see what it's going to be. And I'll tell you what, these daubers were all over this place. Man, they're laying some beads all over here. That stuff's really in there. Come on. Get out of there. What else can I find? There's some little ones up there. That's just part of it around here. Gas tank looks all right. I probably will go through and do a weld-in sump here, just like I did with the Camaro, just so I can feed everything with factory tank, so I can fit streetcar rules and all that. Here's some more. Dudes are just having it everywhere. These are the ones I'm impressed with. I mean, check that out. Okay, so that right there is like the only rust I've found in this whole car, and that's underneath the back seat. Well, that might be the floorboard. Yeah, that's floorboard. Underneath the door right here, so no big deal there. That's an easy fix. This side looks solid, and who knows what happened to get that kind of a dent, but we could beat that out with a hammer. So, other than that, I'm gonna measure a drive shaft real quick. All right, so in the middle of that cap, I'll do this one-handed sort right there. So the front of that yoke is, yeah, it's hard to see like that. All right, center of that yoke, back there, come on, right there, 54 inches. Is what it's showing to the basically the face of that slip yoke. So let's see what I got here. Just snap back in here so you don't fall off. Face of the yoke. Is 54 inches plus a half, so 54 and a half. So that drive shaft's gonna work in this thing. I just probably need to take this yoke off and put it on there because that one's rusty and nasty and I can't have that. So not in the transmission. I know it's still good. So we may need to get a new yoke for the front of this. Actually, that one don't even feel bad for right now. I may just need to clean this up really, really, really good. That in there actually isn't too bad. Alright, I've got emery cloth here somewhere. Alright, found my emery cloth. Oh, I guess that snaps off. Oh, I thought I broke it. Alright, let's go to town on this dude. Alright, I am not angry with that, other than it does have some pretty good ridges right where that seal probably ran on the car before. So I'll just pull the 350 yoke out, which this thing should not have any training foot in it. And I'll compare this yoke to this one. I think they're the same. Yeah. Pretty much the same. This yoke is just a little bit longer. This one is a little bit longer than that one, which is fine. So I'm thinking more and more that this car was probably a turbo 350 lockup before they came out with 700 R4 and all that kind of stuff. So we were thinking 700 R4 maybe. I don't know. Cole seems to think that they're a little bit longer. I guess it just depends on which one you have. But I want to see if this dude's going to fit in here, because I think it's going to. It'd be pretty handy if it did, because that's one less thing I have to buy. Oh yeah, I think it's going to go. Oh yeah, perfect. So, let me whirl this thing around and see if we're going to fit. Let's see. Oh, sanding disc got me. And it is going to be close. Like, that yoke is all the way in. I think it's going to be a little too long. Which the good thing of it is this is a perfectly straight tube. So I probably could get away with grinding it out myself and spinning it on some blocks or something with a dial indicator, just to get it close enough. Because like I said, we ain't gonna try and drag race on this thing, but it would be nice to be able to drive it around without tearing everything up. Come on, because really this suspension is going to go backwards when it drops down in there. So let me get a hammer. That pulls back half an inch. That's almost in all the way. So let's see what the yoke looks like up here. I mean, I can live with that. There's over a 1/2 inch of yoke showing right there. So, and this yoke was shorter than that one, so that gives us plenty of play inside. So I think we got a winner here, just for something being able to move. Because when this compresses, it's going to move back another inch. So I think we scored on that one. One $8 transmission mount and two $13.50 motor mounts. So let's just mark that on the board. We'll just keep track of how cheap we can do this. So this was the original Malibu list right here, and that was going all LS, but we're going to draw a line on that one, and we're going to say T-mount was $8.06, which is really freaking cheap. And then two motor mounts. They were it was like 38 bucks. So $38, close enough. All right, so that's what we've got in the Malibu so far. We'll just keep track of this and just see how cheap we can do this. Okay, so here's where I stand now. 2 7/8 primary Nova headers and 2 1/8 inch primary Camaro headers, which they both fit the same thing, it's just bigger than smaller. Neither one of those want to fit. So I've got my my 6A box, blue pump, old coil, carburetor, all the wiring for that. Let's see, I also have my billet distributor, cap and wires right here. So MSD billet, and this is part of my stash for right now. I have let's see, of course this one I don't think you could consider this used, but it's old stuff. I have 1/2 inch fuel line excuse me, and there in the middle some 3/8 fuel line. So I've got plenty of 1/2 inch line there. So either I use the blue pump or I use an electric pump, whichever one I end up using. I have my Holly box here. That's the wrong one there. Carb parts. Where's carb parts? Here we go. All right. It's a high pressure fuel pump regulator bypass that will let me run an electric fuel pump, a big pump, on the carburetor. Already got that. Miscellaneous fittings. I should have everything there that I need. And just to show you how old school all of this stuff is, you're gonna love this one. That box right there has all of the blue and red fittings in it that were cool back in the 90s. So I'll probably be reusing all that stuff. Let's see, we lucked out on the drive shaft. I mean, really, that's all I need to make it run. The radiator that's in the car now is the old aluminum radiator out of the Camaro. I think we can see that up there. Old aluminum radiator. Still cool, the big block in the Camaro. But if I can get one that's about 5 inches wider than this. So if I can find an Amazon deal on that, I might get a better radiator. I've got the room for it, so I might as well use that. But I can make it work with that one. So I'm not totally going back on the idea of this. Gosh. I'm trying to think what else. I think that's it. I just need to get it all together. So my biggest hang up is the headers. So I'm going to have to do some marketplace searching to try and find Malibu headers, G-body headers, whatever. I could try and get a hold of the Andrades, see if they have anything for Malibu, because John Jr. does have a Malibu. It's LS, but he might have some big block headers. I'll have to ask around. So, but anyway, that's kind of where I'm at now. We've got all kinds of parts to use to make it work, but I can't do much without headers. Good morning, all. Come out here to the shop, got a fire started, and ready to do something today. So what I'm planning right now, I need to clean up that. So I'm gonna make a panel for that. I went to the garage and found an old piece of cardboard. So we're gonna make a template. The good thing about it is it's easy to get to in the back. So I pretty much can just pop a piece of cardboard on there, stencil it out, and cut it out. So I've got some aluminum over there on the wall. We can make it out of that and tidy that up a little bit. So when it is time to wash and clean and stuff like that, I'm not just filling the interior full of water. So let's get on that. All right, I didn't realize that cardboard was double thick, so it was a little bit of a pain in the butt to cut, but we got it. So let's see what we can do here. Instead of buying a big fancy piece of aluminum that's already cut for us, we'll just make it. Looks like that bottom half I can cut out about marker, top corner here. There's a little notch out right there. The bottom half, about right here to right here. So we're going to cut that off and start whittling things down to where we can get to the point that we're really close to that. Then we'll tape it up, draw it from the inside. Razor blade is getting dull. All right, so top corner up here. Thick cardboard. All right, getting closer yet. A little bit closer. A little bit out of this bottom corner and round it off a little bit. Really, this thing needs to cut down, get underneath these brackets. Like that. Okay, I need to cut this top corner out a little bit there. A little more room. Okay, I like that. Now we'll just get a marker, go to the inside, and just trace around the opening, give it an inch of play all the way around it, inch of extra all the way around it, call it good. Okay, so now we can see through the glove box. I'm gonna do something really simple. Just draw a line all the way around this to show where our actual opening is. Oop, a little big line there. Try and get a little more precise. All right, now we got to deal with the rest of this heater box and AC stuff that's stuck right here. So, be a little bit of pain because I haven't broke all this crap out yet. All right, I'm going to put the camera down for a minute, see if I can get this. All right, I think I got it. Climb back out of this thing. Let's see what we're working with. All right, so there's our template. So I'm gonna grab a pair of scissors, add about 1 inch to this all the way around, and then cut this thing out. All right, so I got the template cut out, added my inch and a half all the way around, and I'm pretty happy with the fit. So we're gonna pull that template out and throw it on the sheet of aluminum and zap that dude out of there real quick and see what we come up with. All right, got the template laid out on the aluminum. Of course, my table is outside, so it's nice and wet, so I'm sure I'm gonna get shocked one way or another on this deal. But let's get this cut out and see what we come up with. I think my double glasses here are gonna work very well. All right, let's throw some sparks. Okay, other than doing a little fifer wheel work, cleaning off these corners and stuff like that, let's size it up and see how we did there. our original pattern. Not too bad for a little freehanding. So let's get this thing cleaned up, and then we'll see if we can get it on the car. Okay, so we got to be careful when we're edging this aluminum, because if this thing wants to grab real quick, it will fold this thing over and you'll lose your nice pretty smooth edge with no creases. So we're going to take our time with it and just try not to deform it too bad. It'd really be nice if I had a belt sander or something like that, but the same thing, you still got to be careful with it. All right, well, let's see how this fits now. Yeah, a few self-tapper screws and some seam sealer and we're good to go. All right, now we've got the firewall kind of figured out, some of the wiring stuff over there pull apart. I'm gonna try and clean this trunk out and see what I got to do with here. See if I can get this fancy little light to turn on here. There we go. All right, yeah, now you can see me, right? All right, so it does work good in this situation. We've got an old starter here. May or may not be good, but spare starter is a spare starter. All right, we got the AC unit, compressor. Oh, this thing is heavy. That won't be going back on the car. All right, old air cleaner. I mean, this thing had to have been I know it was a V8, but definitely a 2-barrel. That's scrap metal too. All right, we got a nice funnel we can reuse. Not gonna use that car wash. Got some old brake pads. What's this? It's like a cooking pan with a bunch of bolts in it. That's probably the motor mount bolt that we needed when we had to go buy 2 new ones. All right, this is some indoor-outdoor carpet, so I'm really hoping that it didn't just... Ooh, there's a big old recluse. Let's whack that dude. Where'd he go? Oh, he ran south of the border. Oh, they're not looking bad just yet. Looks like they glued this stuff in. And that full pan, oh, it looks good. Come on. All right. So this is starting to come out. I had to get you guys on the stand over there so I could use both hands. Okay. Well, so much for keeping it clean, because I just dumped everything that was in this carpet out. So, other than mud daubers here, this is probably going to be glued in too. It's coming out so far. Easy. Come on. One piece, one piece, one piece. There we go. All right. This does not look too bad. I'm kind of glad that the tranny fluid got spilt in the old wheel well opening here, because that pretty well lubricated everything. That dude, I have to chop a tree down. These things get everywhere. All right, I think we are good. Got the factory back seat wrappers on it, some old 6x9s, and of course more mud daubers everywhere, never fails. All right guys, trunk looks good. So I'm thinking tomorrow if I have to take the wife to the airport so she can fly to Houston some point tomorrow. But I may go ahead and try and pull these seats out so I can see what the floorboards look like. Man, I don't know. I spoke to John Andrade Jr. You guys may know him as the Cuddy. About some of his Malibu stuff. He sent me some pictures and stuff like that. I'm just trying to figure out what to do with this dash. This thing is pretty roached out. But from what I'm told, they make an overlay that actually looks okay on these. The instrument cluster's fine. It's got one crack right here. This piece is fine. So, I don't know. He told me there's a decent overlay on the market that I can get. So I probably will go through and pull the radio out, some of the other crap, all the AC vents and everything, and see what's going on underneath this carpet. I did get the top of this cleaned off. It turned out looking not too bad at all. So I got all the junk off of it. That side does have some stuff I've got to work on. It is not rusted all the way through, but man, it's close. We've got some stuff right here, right up here. That might be a little hole, but I think we're safe. You just have to clean that, kill the rust, and we'll just put some filler on it, cover it up, and then we should be fine. So anyway, good productive day today. You know, it's just chipping away piece by piece by piece. Still trying to find some headers. I need some good used headers from Marketplace or something like that. And then once I get headers on it, I've got the carburetor, the ignition, all that stuff you guys probably saw on the floor the other day. It might have been this morning, I don't know. The MSB, the coil, fuel pump, all that stuff's right here. So we're good there. Got the drive shaft in, I think I saw that one. I've got the old radiator out of the Camaro. I just need some headers. So if anybody out there in Oklahoma has got some, what was it, 77 to 82 or 3 or 4 G-body stuff, could use a set of headers. So let me know. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. Bye.